that I need to talk about. First is about our project. So basically, we do that project for two reasons. I think I should give you a sense of why we do it first before it's for two reasons. Number one is because the way the mentorship runs, it runs through the end of the year into the new year. And we thought it was good to allow people to have time off. You understand? Like we don't it was supposed to meet, it was supposed to meet in the next 2 weeks, which will be technically maybe like the beginning, maybe like January 2nd, thereabout, which we didn't think that that was, you understand, it wasn't good enough. No, not even January 3. It would have been like December, uh, yeah, January 3. January 3, thereabout. So we thought it was good that people had a bit of break. Second was also the fact that I wanted to ensure that um, this is not just talk, because one of the downsides of mentorship programs like this, where we talk nice things, is that there is a chance that you end up only talking. There's a good chance that you only end up having conversations and people don't do anything with it. So the goal is to ensure that we don't only talk, we get to practice. So, and that's why we make that project the way it is, in the sense that you can choose what you want. Let me give you an idea of some of the things that people have done in the past. Some people have decided that what they want to do a project with, their project was going to be a personal retreat where they were going to deep dive into an issue that had come out for them. Maybe while they were doing the assignment, maybe someone felt like, oh, I need to um I need to do something about the way I'm thinking, my mindset. I feel like maybe I have an entertainment mindset and I want to be better at it. And the person decided, okay, I'm going to do a personal retreat, maybe an introspective thing, like 2, 3 days of thinking through how did I get here, why that thing, document it and introspect. Some people have decided they wanted to read a book. I know a couple of people decided they were going to do their project around reading different books. I know a number of people have asked some I know in time past, I felt like 2, 3 people decided they were going to read my book, my Driven book. I don't know how many of you know about Driven book. It's available for free. And that they were going to summarize it. That was what they were going to submit. Because they were going to submit something at the end, something that shows us what to do. It can be anything. It can be a report, something. It has to just be something that tells us what to do. But it's not even just at the end. We're going to already send you a form after this call. A form will be sent to you where you're going to let us know what you plan to do. So it is at your discretion to choose what you want to do. I know that I'm trying to give you an example of things I know people have done in the past. I know decided that she wanted to someone decided that she was going to raise money for, this next school academic year is coming up, that she was going to raise money from her friends to support an indigent person to school for the next time. That's an example of something that somebody has done. I know people have read books, people have done retreats, introspect, did a project. Somebody said they wanted to, I think somebody did like maybe a welfare thing. People have gathered people and did a program. Like, maybe a program like this, talk to people. I know I'm trying to remember some of the things. I know somebody who said maybe some of our friends, somebody who said maybe like a teenager, that kind of thing. Um, there's one that was in my mind that I kind of have forgotten now. Oh, somebody did write a book. I remember, yeah, somebody wrote a book. Yeah, somebody actually wrote a book. I remember now. Somebody wrote a book. Yes, somebody wrote a book. Somebody spent that time to attack something that they postponed for a long time. They wanted to write a research paper from their thesis, either BSc thesis or master thesis, and they decided that that was what their project was going to be. And all of these people, they actually did it. So the point is, you choose what you want to do. All we are asking is, number one, you let us know what you have chosen. We'll send you a form. Um, and I think that form, the deadline for you to fill that form will either be Sunday or Monday. So at least you have a couple of maybe 24 to 48 hours to think about what you want to do. Just give us a form that tells us ahead of time that this is what we are choosing to do. And then at the end, you will expect you to submit a report. It could be, do you understand? Whatever way that the report is going to be, you are going to be the one to decide that. I know some people did really beautiful presentation like reports. Some people did a one document report. Like I said, some people did like book reviews. Yeah, I remember somebody did one of Cindy Trim's book so fast because they wanted to deal with a mindset issue and all of that, and they needed to read that book. And then they reported both what they read and the impact it had on them. Yeah. So does that sound like does that sound like does that make sense to you? Please let me know. So three things. First of all, you get to choose what you want to do. It can be anything. It can be something based on it can be something based on the lessons that you are learning. Basically, we want to put into practice some of the things that we are learning, including some of the things we're going to talk about today. The second thing is that we need you to just let us know what you have chosen. A form will be sent to the group today, and then you are going to have to January 10th. So that's about 3 weeks. Yes, about 3 weeks to get it done and then send us a report. If you understand me, please can you write I understand in the chat if you understand me. Thank you, Sheo. I'm looking forward to other people. Adeke, thank you. Thank you, Eniola. Sola, Busayo, Oshe. Is anybody here who already, as I was speaking, you already know what you are likely going to do? I know assist to some extent. Please let me know what your questions are. And that's the reason why I was saying if you have a question, this is the time to ask me. I can answer on behalf of the team. I think I should be able to answer on behalf of the team. Yeah, so I always have a question, let me know. But is there anybody that as I was speaking, you already have a sense of what you want to do? Maybe something was already jumping out of you because of maybe the assignment you've done or something like that that you will hope to do something about. Anyone? Anyone like that? Can I give you a possible example? I listed almost 10 examples. Ayoluwa, were you hearing me? I listed so many examples. Please, can you let me list examples again, like I said in the chat? I listed plenty examples. In fact, that was what I spent most of my time saying. Is it that your network is bad, you're not paying attention, what happened? You got disconnected for a bit. So maybe you also looked into the recording. But yeah, so can people please help me drop some of their examples that I mentioned in the chat for whoever was, yeah. Sheon, you were saying that you already know what to do. Do you mind to share? Mind to share? I'm already looking for the documents I'm going to be sharing so that I can have my conversation. Oh, no one is dropping examples for me. And this is not our vibe. This is not the vibe that we have here. This is not our vibe. So no other person heard my examples that they can help drop in the chat. Thank you, Tomisi. That was just an example. And that was an extreme one. I did actually say somebody was going to pull that off, but somebody did. They did write a book. Yes. Thank you, Busayo. Thank you. Yeah. People reviewed books, took a retreat. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Working on postponed activities. Someone reviewed one of Cindy Trim's book. Yes, I remember I mentioned that. About two or three people also read through my own book and did a review for themselves. What stood out the most for them, their biggest lesson, and just like that. So here you have it, different examples. She already said she's thinking of carefully creating a mindset result confession for every area of your life. Wow, amazing. That would be really cool. And if you are like me, that you like to hear it, you can even record it and make it a ringtone. I did something like that, I think 2 years ago. Yeah. I wrote some confessions and then I I I recorded myself saying them, and then I made them into alarms. There's one of the alarms that still ring to today. It still rang this morning. I have an alarm at 11 a.m. that rings, and it's my own word. It's a confession that as it was a word that God gave me concerning basically what just the decade, one of the major words for me concerning the decade. So that alarm has been ringing for the last, I don't know how many, at least more than a year now. So it keeps, yeah, it keeps reminding me. I know the thing off and down. And that's why I'm able to see that word and that prophecy. Because it's so much in my consciousness, because I hear it every day. It guides my perceptive, my perceptions. Do you understand? So I'm able to see, like, oh, this happening, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a cool one because I think confessions, they are not necessarily just to be said. They are also to be not just to be written. They are also to be said, like said and heard. That's my thought about it. Anyway, regarding postponed activities bit, yeah, I just want you to think about it. Please take some time to really think about what you want to do. Because let it be something that will make a difference for you. Don't just do the easiest thing possible. Do what will make a difference for you. That's my own appeal to you. Let it make a difference. Let it be something that really makes a difference for you. Okay, so who is ready for today's session? Let me know if you're ready for today's session. Sorry that I keep standing there because I'm using the kitchen. So I need to be doing a lot of makeshift. Like I said, being here today was putting a lot of things together. Okay, Ruth is ready. This cannot be the only one ready. Ready. Who's ready for today's session? Uh, today's session, if I'm being honest, is one of the sessions I love to teach. And it's funny because I used to say that I said last time that mindset, for me, I think mindset session is the one that a lot of people always give me how much they loved it, But personally, this session on mastery is the one I love to teach. Yeah, because it is you will know why when I continue. Okay, Immaculata is here too. All right. I'm going to share my screen. I want to believe you can see it. Could you confirm that you can see my screen before I start moving? Okay, thank you. Thank you. You guys already know that I keep asking questions, so don't be far from your chat because I love us to be here together. So basically, this session, let me give you a background. So we started out talking about meaning and mindset, and basically talking about meaning. And part of the argument that I was making was the idea that meaning is part of the biggest argument I was making with the model of meaning was to help us see that our lives are, are rich, first from the inside and of course towards the outside, in the sense that our lives are bigger than the things that we do, the spotlight that we get, do you understand? The accomplishments that we are able to, our lives are bigger than that. Our lives are bigger than the goals that we accomplish. Our lives are bigger than that. Our lives are deeper and richer. We are like, when I think about this, one of the things I used to think about is scripture that says that God has put eternity in our heart. Like there's something deeper inside us that it will take eternity to unravel. And that's why we cannot judge ourselves by the flesh in that sense. Permit me to use that word. We cannot judge by ourselves by the things that we see of each other only, or the things that we do, or the status that we have, or the influence that we, all those kind of things, because our lives are deeper. And it was a call to pull ourselves into that place where we're able to see ourselves more from that perspective. And of course, all the other arguments about understanding that our life, our journey of purpose and meaning and all of that is a journey. It really is a journey, and we need to approach it that way. And Part of the reasons why I always start that way, of course, is first of all because it's fundamental to everything. Second is the fact that it's been an extreme. On one on the extreme is the extreme of a lot of young men and women, not just women, actually, young people generally, particularly our own generation. We are being born and growing into a time where accomplishments seem to be everything. So that's one extreme. So there's a need to pull ourselves back and really come to see our person, not just only from the title of our work or what our KPI say and things like that. But there's also a different extreme. And yeah, maybe it's also common among young people, but I probably see it more among young women. Um, there's the other extreme where the way I was saying it to the people last year, because I was rewatching just this today, I was rewatching when I was teaching this session last year. I rewatched like the entire video. I like to do that. So it's not only you that is watching recording. I watch the recording too. I hope you guys know that I actually watch the recording too. Anyway, and the way I was saying it to them in that session was that the other extreme is the fact that again and again I see a lot of young people, but let me speak because most of we're women here. I see a lot of young women and the way we approach even just that accomplishment, your career, your business, and all of that, and how we approach it quite emotionally. Um, we stay in our feelings. And I will explain. Just follow me, please. And honestly, today, if there's any second that you need to follow me because I'm going to be saying a lot of things that we need unpacking. Today is one of those days. We have this very interesting relationship with our work, with our sense of work that is emotional. We don't call it that. Some of us call it different names. We call it personality. So you hear people excuse themselves away, for example, from high level of execution with the fact that in their own personality they are not so driven. Do you understand? Or I've heard people talk about how all those time management things is not their thing because they like to be spontaneous. You understand? We use different words and names to excuse the fact that we are living in our feelings when it comes to the way we are approaching the things that we do, because that's what we're talking about here. It's really about the things that we do, but it's deeper than that, and I will explain. But before I start going into that, let me start the way I usually start. Is when you hear the word mastery, what does it mean to you? What do you think we're trying to talk about today? Please use the fact. When you hear the word mastery, what does it mean to you? What do you think we're trying to talk about today? Is my question. Just to repeat it. I'm waiting in the chat. Thank you. Ruth says being good at a skill. Lola says consistency. Okay, good, good. Skillful is the word I'm going to use to represent what Ruth is saying. Consistency, Nola. I'm waiting for more. You can use a word like Nola did, or you can use a sentence. Just give me a sense of what you think about mastery and what you think we're talking about here today. Film says knowing a particular thing, field of endeavor so well that I can repeat it successfully and teach others. Mm. And I can imagine the way you're talking about this shit. You're thinking from your clinical pharmacist perspective. That kind of what's the word now? You're thinking technical expertise, something like that, right? Yeah, technical expertise. So expertise for you, not too far away from what she was always saying about skillful. And you're like, your consistency is a part of it. I'm waiting for more. Are there other people on the call? What does mastery mean to you is my question. I need about at least two more answers before we can move ahead. That's what I'm waiting for. Adere, Sola, Esther, Ruth, Immaculata. I'm waiting for your responses. Esther says perfection. Hmm. Okay. Immaculata says being exceptional. Something that can be replicated again and again. So the more I'm hearing you guys, the more it sounds like, okay, Ruth says mastery makes her think about the quote, don't practice till you get it right. Practice till you can't get it wrong. Oh, interesting. That's super cool. That's really cool. Extra says expert will say the same thing. Okay, I think I can move forward. I just dropped a message on the group. I wanted to get a message on that group. All right. I feel like the more I'm saying what you guys are saying, the more it sounds a little bit more about you're thinking about this mastery thing from a specific skill. So you're thinking someone is at a master, say, in artistry. So you know that they are good at artistry, right? That's the way some of these things are sounding to me. It's sounding like you learn something and then you become a master at it, right? Like you become extremely good. Let me use Carl Newport's word. They say you're so good they cannot ignore you, right? So it sounds it feels like everybody is talking about expertise. But interestingly, what I want us to talk about today is expertise is just one of it. Expertise, trust me, is just one of it. In the sense that what I mean by that is it's not just about being a master at medicine or being a master at, I don't know, I'm using that word master from mastery, right? A master in business. Do you understand? I'm speaking about being a masterful person so that regardless of whatever you put your hands into, be it in your career, in business, ministry, even, there will always be that sense of strong mastery coming out. Because one of the things, maybe I didn't plan to say this, but one of the things I should quickly say is that sometimes this is the what's the word now? This is the it's a trap that I see young, particularly career people fall into in a way that sometimes we are also focused on becoming good at something that we build all our understanding of mastery around that thing. Like we are also, do you understand? So you want to be, let me say a baker, for example. You want to be a master baker. But who told you you are still going to be baking 10 years? You might not. In fact, in the time that we have today, if there's anything that is probably the most common, is that people keep moving across industries, moving across. Are there people here who are about to move across industry? You did something in school, you're doing something else right now. Or you even did something in school, you started in the field, but now you're in a whole different place. Anybody like that? Do I have people like that who have cross-cut maybe a number of industries already? You've done key, you've baked, but you're also an IT professional. And now you're in security. Do I have people like that? Let me know if I'm speaking to the audience that understand what I'm saying. There's no one like that here. That's really surprising. But even if there's no one like that here, trust me, it's going to happen in your lifetime. Trust me. I have a good number of my friends have moved across multiple industries. In fact, one of the important expertise of the 21st century will be the ability to move across fields because you cannot, I'm not even trying to say that here, but this is probably an important thing you should keep in mind. If you're a career person, you have to, yes, you should be a general, you should be a specialist, I agree, but you cannot be the kind of person where all you know is a lot about one thing. This is not the age for that. This is not the age for that. It's not, trust me. Maybe this might be somebody's deliverance. I will recommend a book to you in case you have been stuck in that kind of thing. The name of the book is called Range. Range. It can be something that someone can pick up as a project to go and read that book. How to thrive as a generalist in the world because you're in a time where you need to know a little about many things, especially in an AI world. You need to know a little about many things because more and more people, particularly career world, we actually prefer to hire people who have multiple, multi-dimensional skills and who can move across places. So if you're able to, you are that marketing person who also has a little bit understanding of, it doesn't have to be a lot, but have a little bit understanding of finance. Imagine having somebody who's in marketing who also understands a little bit of sales and a little bit of finance. The way they will do marketing will be different. Do you understand? Yes, it becomes more and more important. But what I'm even trying to say here is that I'll just use that as an example. Is that what I really want us to think about as I'm speaking is really an understanding of the person, not just the product. Like, how do you become a masterful person such that whatever thing that you put in yourself into, wherever situation, that you get to express yourself either through business, through career, non-profit, whatever it is that you're doing, or multiple things that you might be doing. That sense of mastery, of excellence, of execution, of productivity, we always show up there. Are you understanding me? So our conversation is really how do you how do you become someone? I don't want to say a master because once I say master, you are thinking master in something. How do you become someone who embodies mastery? That's the way I should say it. Who embodies excellence, who embodies skillfulness, who embodies execution, who embodies getting things done. And this conversation is very personal for me. And the reason why I say that is for people who know a little bit about the things that I do. One of the things I've always believed that at the denominator of most of the things that I do is is human capital development. So either through education, through even things like this and all of that, is really helping people to be able to be more and do more. You understand? They're able to be more, they're able to see themselves better, and they are because of that, they're able to express um the ingenuity and the talent and the gift and do you understand? The things that are inside them, they're able to express it better so that the world can profit more from them, like to benefit more from their existence and things like that. And initially, I focused a lot. I focused a lot on just helping people come into a place of um, that place, that internal place where you're able to see yourself, know yourself, that reflective kind of thing where you are seeing yourself, you have a sense of where you're going, that sense of direction and clarity, you know, even that sense of confidence of knowing who you are, being confident in who you are. But with time, I began to see that even though more people were becoming confident, they can, or at least they appear so, let me use the word, they appear so, even though I started to see that people were appearing confident, appearing like they know what they were doing at different times and all of that. There, I was noticing that there was still a sense of their, they, like people are realizing their potential, but their result was not matching it. Let me say it that way. People were realizing their potential, but their result was not matching it. That's what I'm going to say. So I was seeing people stuck. That's the word I'm going to use. In a growing realization of potential. Does that make sense to you? Where you are entering into a place where you are beginning to understand yourself more, have a sense of clarity, know what you want from life, the kind of life you want, intentional living and all of that. You are becoming understanding what you want to do, having a bit more confidence that you can go for it and all of that. But just growing in awareness and realization, discovering and of potential of your person and all of that. But the truth is, the more you uncover potential in your person, the more we're supposed to. And when I say more, I don't even mean quantity necessarily, but there should be a difference in in the in what that produces, first in you and even beyond you. And that was where I was beginning to see a disconnect. So I was seeing a lot of talk, but little actual doing. And when I say that, I don't even mean that people are not doing program or they are not helping teenagers. No, is even the way it's being done is not aligning with the capacity that people really have. Please let me know if you're understanding what I'm saying. I was beginning to see, yeah, that's what I'm going to use. It was a disconnect. It's as if people just loved the idea of purpose discovery, potential realization. And that's what I'm saying, we like to be in our feelings. But when it comes to the time for rubber to meet the road, that was where a lot of people were getting stuck. So it's as if we were all merry-go-rounding around who we are, what we can do. Do you understand? The greatness that lies inside of us. We're just merry-go-rounding. That's the word. We're merry-go-rounding around talking about that. But oh yeah, now, do you do it now? And that's where a lot of people were getting stuck. Please let me know if you understand what I'm saying. If this is something that either you notice about yourself or if you are an attentive person, an observant person of the world, have you noticed this thing I'm saying more and more and more among young people? So I say, "Oh, people, thank you. I'm seeing show and roots. Exactly. Show workings now. Like this thing is bad. I'm not even kidding. You see people have nice LinkedIn bio and all of that. Like at the point, it started to frustrate me as someone who was an employer of labor. Nice packaging, so confident, come to interview, say they can do a lot. We employ them and they are not that skillful. And sometimes they are skillful, they don't know how to manage their time. So they don't get much done. I'm sorry that I'm going to give you an example. We had to let someone go from our non-profit. Um, not to, it's been a while actually. I think earlier in the year that it was, to be honest, I tried to salvage that situation because I didn't want her to go. She was like a mentee to me. And it was part of the reason why I brought her in. I knew that she was at that point in her life where she had a lot of potential, but she needed someone to, push her towards. really, really, push that thing out of her. And, I was willing to do it. But, there's a willingness. That willingness has to be shared. I can't be willing for you, but you're not willing for yourself. Eventually, it won't work. That's what happened. Like, you don't understand. I will give this, not even I, because I was not even working direct. I was not a direct report line. At a point, my ED was extremely tired. One thing, sitting on me for 3 days. And then she's like, she was crying. I'm like, you are kidding me. This guy was trying to explain something. I'm like, do you know how many things I'm doing? And I'm not even saying that out of pride, as if, people say, do you know how many things that you are doing in a way that their life is burned out? They also want you burnt out. I'm not even saying it from that perspective. I don't feel burnt out. But I'm doing a lot more than you. Like, the actual, I want to understand like that, that we were supposed to hire a consultant. And I like to work with young people. So I remember that I brought the guy in. He sent us nice proposal. The whole thing was nice. Now looking back, I'm wondering if he just copied it online. Because when it came to when Payard met the role, for him to actually do it, he could not. For whatever reason, I have no idea. I feel like it's funnier because we're in a generation that keep talking about visibility. And it's shocking to me because I'm sorry that I'm saying it this way. I wish I'm not. But it's something that the more I'm seeing visible people, the less I'm seeing competence. And it's more annoying. Do you know the reason why they just, hey, do you know the reason why they just force that victory? Because part of the reason was also, well, let me say part of it, but part of the reason people were talking about that thing was that it looked green from afar. Like it was inviting. And that's what many of us are doing. We are inviting, we are building visibility without necessarily viewing depth. And it makes it worse. It makes the downfall more devastating. So the conversation here is really how do you become? Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't want you to just think mastery in terms of your product line. Do you understand? Or your career line. I'm talking about being a like being having a grasp of mastery, such that wherever you go, whatever you are doing, whatever you will eventually do, that you keep because it's the same person, you will keep carrying that person into it. And that's why sometimes a number of people change jobs when really it's not your answer is not changing jobs, it's you that needs to change. The person I was talking about that we had to let go of, I had to ask her. It was in real that I'm looking back now, it was a mistake on my part too. It's a lesson I've learned now. That I usually nowadays, if I want to employ again, I know that I will ask you where you were coming from, wherever you worked before. Why did you leave? What happened? Because by the time I asked that question, I discovered that the people in the last place, they didn't exactly let her go. They nicely made it look as if, do you understand? That kind of thing where you just wanted somebody to go, but you don't want to be the one to say this person should go. You understand? So when she started looking as if she might go, they just help her, like, oh yeah, no problem. It was even the boss that was helping her look for a place to go. It was later that I was thinking about that. Oh my God, was that why that boss was doing like that? Because they were just tired. And why it was funny was because I was even adamant. Like I was having a conversation with my ED. I was adamant that this guy is my mentee. I must force this expertise and competence and excellence of her. And after a while, I began to realize that a bit of my push were being misunderstood. So I realized, okay, no problem. No problem. I'm going to remove my hand. It's fine. But we can't continue like this. Things that are supposed to be get done in one day, 1 week, you are still there. And it's not just that you are still there. It's that you are not giving feedback. I will give you something to do, give you a deadline. You are not done. You did not reach out. I will say I have to reach out to you maybe days after, still asking about it. You know, explain. It was just a lot. And it was very shocking to me. Anyway, but I'm using that as an example. The idea is how do how do you become the way I like to say it sometimes is how do you become someone that gets things done? That you don't stay just in potential. uh, Anybody that if maybe you have a business where you employ people, you will know what I'm talking about. It's part of this why they are saying that Nigeria has an employability issue right now, not just an unemployment issue. I agree. I do agree. I do agree. And this is not about asking for perfection. It's not, to be honest. Believe me when I say so. In fact, part of the things I believe strongly as a person is that my work as an employer is to bring out good from raw materials. So I'm not looking, I'm actually looking for raw materials. I just need willingness and someone who's ready to push. And the reason why I know that is real is because I've been fortunate to also have people who are like that. My EA, the manager here, Kende, she has been like that. One thing they started with most of the things that we now do together, she was not in that level of competence yet. But I think she was brilliant. You understand? It was someone that was ready to do mastery out of herself. That's what I'm talking about there. Anyway, anyways. So what are my thoughts on mastery? I have three thoughts. Basically, I think of mastery as from the perspective of the act of doing. Basically, getting things done. Being a person who actually gets things done. You get like it will be when I meet people who are competent, it gives me joy. People who those kind of they are becoming far and far in between, and it's sad. People who know that when they do things, they do it well. You understand? Like you see people that put effort. Yeah, it might not be the best at everything, but that sense of ownership and responsibility, just getting things done reliably, getting things done consistently, not always saying I want to, where everything is always I want to. You want to today, you want to next tomorrow, you want to in next year. Many of us have been saying I want to for 3 years. We say, the Lord has given me the ministry to something, but you have done nothing about it. But how can you even do anything? Because you're not, how will you do anything? Your life is not organized. Your life is not, the little that you are doing, your life already feels so full that you can't put any other things because you don't know how to organize yourself. I'm sorry if you think I said what's the word now? This is a breaking table with water. I didn't intend that, but this conversation always sounds like that. I also think of it about the act of control. And what I mean by control is, let me quickly say that there is the things that are get done, and there are the ways that you get things done. Let me say that again. There's the thing about you get things done. There's also the part of the way you get things done. And over the years, I've found that a lot of people concentrate on the product, not the process. So, for example, you say you want to write a book, or you want to, yeah, I always like to use a book because it's easier for me to use that to explain. You say you want to write a book. There's a part where you can focus on just writing the book, right? And all you are just dama, 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 dama. You shall get the book done. We thank God for you. But that does not necessarily make you a mastery person yet. Like someone who has grasp of mastery. You become someone who has grasp of mastery, who, when you have understood how to always get yourself to write a book, you got the difference. Writing a book and knowing how to always get yourself to write a book is two different things. And that's why sometimes you see people become what I like to call one-hit wonders. They get one thing done, but they're not able to replicate it. And when I'm saying replicate, I don't even mean write another book. I mean, if anything else come in life that is also a big goal, knowing how to accomplish that one too. Yeah, thank you, Adeke. Building systems, not just acing goals. Does that make sense? Where you now understand what it takes to be an author. Like being an author becomes a part of you. That after you finish writing this book, you can do another one because you have mastered the process of getting yourself to do it. That's what I mean by the act of control there. And like I said, because I used to use book example, I used to like to use my book as an example. My first book, at that time, I was still trying to understand the whole idea of execution and productivity. And, like I was saying in the beginning, I was still that kind of person that was still a lot in my feelings when it comes to getting things done. So I kept waiting. You know, that I was really in that mental stage. You're still waiting. You're still waiting. It took 2 years to write a book. To eventually begin, I will start small, stop it, start small, kind of things. You are just doing merry-go-round around the goals. Start, stop, start, stop. And then I will now enter another season. And maybe I enter another season in my life where maybe I went to a program that my heart got reminded of the book. I will pray again, my Lord, Lord, I'm going to do it. I say yes to your will. That's how many of us are doing. God keeps showing you what He wants you to do in your career, in your business, whatever your ministry. He keeps showing you what you have capacity for. And you keep going the merry-go-round of, oh, I will do it. Yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. But you never get to do it because you don't even know how to pull yourself together. Like grasp the ability to be someone who gets things done. See, that process of knowing how to bring yourself together to get it done is part of mastery. And that's why I'm pushing you away from mastery that is just about a particular skill into a kind of person. So that wherever you enter, that thing, have you not met people who seem to be multi-potential and you know that anything that comes from them will always be good, whatever it is? Have you met people like that? That even yourself, you see once you see their name, even if it's something they've never done before, in your heart, you have an expectation of excellence because of what they've done over the years. Because they've learned to make a master out of themselves, such that whatever they enter, they carry that master into it. So like I said, there's the product, but there's the process, the person who is doing it. And see, that's what I want to focus on, just the product. Because if you become the person who understands and can stay in the process, you will always have products. You understand? So rather than helping you to just get a book done, I'll focus on helping you to make writing a part of your life. Such that you will get a book done today, but what you want also use to get another book done tomorrow is already a part of you. This way I'm saying like this. It was what was my it was my deliverance. When I began to see that, oh, this is not about just writing, it's about becoming someone who can write, who is an author in both their art and their skill, who build systems of authorship around their life. By the time the first book took 2 years before I even eventually now really understood this and eventually I got it done. The second book took 3 weeks. About the same size of book, probably even the second one was more. But by that time, I'd already understood how to get myself to get it done. Do you understand? My understanding of mastery, of execution had changed. The same person. And you know the funniest part? The funniest part, my life was busier for the second book than the first. And that's why, how do I say this thing nicely? Because I'm already seeing this table that somebody she was putting in the chat. How do I say this nicely? You know, hmm, I'm trying to say it nicely. A number of people who have lesser things to do, I have found, are more overwhelmed than some of the people that you see that are busy. I'm telling you, this is real. It's real. In time past, and some of these things I learned it by experience, and of course, with time, by deliberately putting myself in the place of coaching. So I started taking coaching seriously, getting coached and all of that. Of course, not just anybody anyway. I was very specific about the kind of people I wanted to learn all of these things. I began to realize that some of the people that you see that they keep getting things done and executing, you think that they're overwhelmed. A number of people who have lesser things, lesser responsibility in their life are actually more overwhelmed. Because those ones, they already understand, because there's a way to this thing. There's a way to this thing. Hmm. There's a way to it. As if you follow my email, I've talked about this thing again and again. 2020, maybe 2019, thereabout. I got to a point in my life I was extremely overwhelmed. It's looking back on that sometimes it's funny to me. Because my life is a lot more to do. I can do anything that overwhelmed like that. Like those times. So it was when I began to realize that sometimes it's not even the amount of things that you have to do that causes all of these things that you people feel like, oh my God, I'm so tired. All of these memes that we put like, oh my God, I can't wish to, we are going to work again today. That kind of thing that we do. I want to realize, and there's a way, that's my point. There's a way. But I'm coming to that. I have what I'm calling the pillars of mastery that I'm going to discuss. That's where I'm going to spend most of my time. But let me finish here. So basically, I'm thinking of mastery. I call it the heart of consistent movement in your most preferred direction, in the sense that, and what I'm calling your most preferred direction is the sense that you have a sense of where you are going in your life that, of course, evolve into where you're going in your career and your business, maybe ministry, whatever. And that ability to consistently move in that direction, where you are not always just staying at the edge and saying, that's where I'm going, but you're actually moving. We are seeing you actually go there. You understand? Like you're not, that's why I say it's not just potential, not just we are just dancing around potential and staying our feelings. I'm feeling great about prophecies. You understand? Many of us we have perfected the act of of revering in prophecies over our lives. That we're not even realizing that we are doing nothing about them. You don't understand. Do you get me? That you can be so you can yeah, you're in that place. Oh, they say your life will be great, you will do great things. They have sent you as an apostle to something of whatever it is. All those things you see. But you're not even realizing that you're not moving. You have become very comfortable in the idea of what you can become. That you are actually not making the deliberate, consistent effort to move in the direction of what they say you're supposed to become. Some of us think some of these things will just happen, but it won't. There is a sense of there's a demand of mastery. In fact, over the years, I have learned that the word of God over you, and I'm speaking specifically because I know a good number of people here are believers, and many of these things are tied to your sense of faith. I've learned over the years that the word of God over you about the things that you are going to, the things you're going to accomplish with your life and all of that. If you understand it, you realize that what he actually does, one of the things he does is that he places a demand, a requirement of diligence and mastery on you. And sometimes it's interesting because I realize that many people think that what he does is that he only places, like, not only, they think he places favor on them. And in that sense, they think favor means that they will do little, but plenty will happen. Do you understand? So, it's because the hand of God is on my life. It's making me run. You already know the song. The issue is not the words. It's what do they mean to you? People don't know that Ongbe Misari, you know that song, right? That the Ongbe Misari is not that you will do nothing compared to your peers, but you will be ahead of them. If that's like Paul, remember what Paul said? He said, I labored more abundantly. Is that it will give you energy to work. Do you get the difference? Please let me know. I've said a lot of things. Favor, the hand of God on you, it will actually, what it does is that it gives you capacity to do more, not just to do little and little more. Do you understand? Because sometimes I'm amazed at the perspective of favor that believers have. It's sometimes it's funny because you don't have to see the way God is, and you know that that thing cannot be true. People does not make him a respecter of person. It does not. And that's why the clearest example is that thing that Paul was saying in First Corinthians 15:10. He was saying something about the grace of God was upon his life. What did he say that grace made him do? He made him labor more abundantly. Many of us don't know that grace is energy. It's energy to do something. Do you get? So if you say hand of God is upon you, one of the way I'm supposed to see it is that you're able to do more. And when I say do more, I don't, do you understand? I'm not talking quantity in terms of you are here, you are here. Is that one thing that is whatever it is that they put in your hands, there's a capacity to go deep, to go diligent, to be a master that will be a part of it, and it is grace. And do all of that without working. That's grace. And that's why you realize that some of the people that we are connected that they are so great are the busiest people. They are the one that have the most to do, and they are the one that do the most. Come to this point, what are you hearing? I should have asked these questions. Anyone that is not here today, I personally think that they are really missing. Anyway, up to this point, what are you hearing? What's standing out for you, please? I'm waiting, 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 waiting. What's standing out for you? I said a lot. Then you can say God's grace effort to labor more. Yeah. Mastery is a lifestyle. I like the way you used to give me simple ways to say what I'm saying. That's one reason why I should ask this question, so that there will be many other ways to say what I'm saying, so that at least one of it will stick with you. Thank you, Ruth. That's what I'm saying. Mastery is not just about a job or a part, a field that you are in. It's a lifestyle. It is you that will carry mastery into the field of education. You get, or into the field of pharmacy. And if for whatever reason the Lord tells you in 5 years' time to move away from pharmacy and go into governance, you will still carry the mastery into it. Yeah. Oluwashem says, Oluwashem says, I'm hearing that mastery is more than being skilled in a particular field. Yes. Mastery is becoming a kind of person that can execute everything in any venture. Yeah. And your last says, I should not be concerned about the end goal in achievement, but also the process. Yes. And if anything, I'll probably even tell you to be concerned more about the process, because the process will always give the goal. It will always give the goal. Is the wisest place to put the most attention. The process will give the goal, but the fact that the goal is there does not necessarily. I used to tell people that somebody created a good product, like a excellent product, does not mean they are a, a, a mastery person. But a mastery person will always give good product. Because you can have a one-hit wonder. You just happen by chance, you're in the right environment and you did something nice. But you don't understand the process of getting it done again. That's why the consistent part is part of this. Immaculata says mastery is understanding yourself and your process in depth, that you can replicate your excellent nature in everything that you do. Thank you. Thank you. Let me wait for like one more person and then I'll move. I hope this session is really is let me use the word that we used to use when you're eating. I hope this session is eating in the right spot. I hope it's eating you in the very right spot. Okay. I'm waiting. Do I have one more person who wants to share what is standing out for them? And then I'm going to move. So I have 5 key pillars. I've called them key pillars of mastery. And they are not exhaustive. They are they are just things that over the years of now I'm putting together both my experience, observation, and also coaching expertise. I don't know how many of you know that I actually am a professional coach alongside all the other things that I do. So I coach people. So some of these things I'm talking about are coming from also years of experience of working. I've worked with, I don't even know how many members, to be honest. I can't remember in the instant. I know that I've hosted in 2 events and one-on-ones. I've hosted close to 100 people already in like paid coaching programs and sessions and one-on-ones. And so some of these things are coming from working with that number of people. So when it comes to mastery, I've found that there are five key pillars. Like I said, they are not exhaustive, but they're almost like foundational, such that many other things we build on them. So remember, what I'm talking about mastery is not just about being good in a particular skill, but being a masterful person. I found five key pillars over the years, and I'm going to talk about them. That's really where my focus is in this. I'm looking at my time. Although maybe we might be maybe a few minutes above, but I'll try my best to run through this as fast as I can. Okay, Favor says the dynamics between people with less responsibility being overwhelmed more than those with more responsibility. I'm here for more understanding. Yes, absolutely. Trust me, it's true. It actually is true. Mm. People will be surprised that someone like DDK is a lot more well rested than you. It might be shocking, but it's true. I'm telling you, it's true. Because there are ways to, we'll come into it because it's a part of the key of mastery. So, like I said, part of the reason why I was trying to pull you guys away from thinking of mastery only from the perspective of technical expertise, because that's just one part of it. Okay, so let me start from one of the first one, what I think is probably the foundation of everything. I call it visionary capacity. And basically, the way I explain it, I like to explain it is that is your ability to see and capture your next. It's part of mastery. And many times, the fact that many of us just think of mastery in terms of the book you want to write, the or the next promotion in your job, and we don't think of it from this layered perspective, is the reason why it looks as if our ability to get things done is sporadic. So you have good times now, and then you eat plenty bad times, and one good time and 20 bad times, and one good time and 20 bad times. The idea here is how do you make this a system of living? So the first one is visionary capacity. Basically, um, I'm trying to say it in the simplest way I can. It's your ability to see where next you are going. And when I say see now, I don't just mean see, like, it's that kind of clarity that bets conviction, where hmm, you enter a place where you become convinced that this is the next direction for me. And when you enter that conviction, the conviction produces courage to go because you know that's where I'm supposed to be going. It's like when you know you're supposed to be going to Mogola, you get to the street and you take the car. You are not second guessing because you know where you're going. And if there's something I really want to really point out here is I like to call it seeing and capturing your next, not your future. I always say that. And my reason is this. I've found over the years of mentoring people, even coaching, that some people, not maybe not all, but some people, when they hear that word vision, visionary, and all of that, they think of it mostly from the perspective of having a sense of a big picture in front. You know, that kind of big picture where you're going. You know, we like to see all of these things, like maybe a sense of what you are supposed to do with your life. You know, those kind of deep things. And a lot of people don't feel that way. If you ask them, what will you be doing in the next 20 years? There might be people who might not know who, what they say might not know, or they might give you an answer just to get you behind their back, but deep down in their hearts, they are not confident about what they don't know. And in their minds, they think that means they're not visionary. But over the years, I've found that what vision really means is really about being able to see where your next step is supposed to be. Because it's in the next steps, the culmination of next step that gets you to the future. Even if you're able to see the future, let me call it, if whatever reason you have seen a vision, whatever, you can see where you're supposed to be in 25 years' time. They've shown you in the picture, you have seen yourself somewhere or anything like that. That picture is useless if you are not able to know where you're supposed to go now. You see that dot, the next dot is what connects there. So if anything, the better way to even be visionary is to see the next one. Because if you keep seeing the next, you are here now, you see the next, you see the next, you see the next, you move there, you see the next. That's how you connect. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I've worked with people who count themselves out of being visionaries. In fact, I remember there was one of my I think it was a coaching client, one of my one-on-one coaching clients, who she had a strong issue thinking every time I tried to make her see that you are actually a visionary person. She had a strong issue with it. She was like, no, she's not like that. She doesn't have any plans, any goals for her. Like, she doesn't have any big plans. And I'm like, it's not about big plans. In fact, there are things I know about you, about how you pursued even friendship with me, that showed me that you were visionary. Because there was a sense of, I didn't even pay attention to her for some time because we were not exactly friends, but we were more a friend's friend. But she said she kept knowing that, I had something to do with that. I'm like, that's exactly what it means to be visionary. There's nothing more. It's not that I'm telling you. And the reason why you also need next is because next gives action. It's, somebody catch that. Next tells you your action. You can see yourself becoming a minister, speaking to a million people. Let me use maybe CCI. 10, what are they say that 1 billion so in 10,000 cities. And it's wonderful. But there's no action inside that. You have to know the next action. Do you understand? You can't just jump from here to 1 billion subjects. There has to be something to do. And it's in those next that you see those actions. Does that make sense? So let me know, are you understanding what I'm saying? I hope you guys can still hear me and my network has not tripped. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to be sure my network has not tripped. Let me give you a quick example of myself, of how this visionary capacity work. Or before I give the example, let me explain this a little bit more because I need you to get it. I used to say that, not that I used to say, I say this because of what I've seen. Most of these things, I see them through mentoring, through coaching, and, even working with friends and peers. For example, I see entrepreneurs sometimes, probably because they are in charge of their business, sometimes put a little bit more towards visionary capacity, sometimes more than career people. Let me explain. One of the things I started noticing with young people that I know were in career was I started noticing that many of them allow their career determine their capacity and not the other way around. What I mean by that is they every career has a kind of a standard trajectory. Does that make sense? There's a role that you are in now that in a way in the industry and in that company and all of that, there's supposed to be a role that becomes promotion, the next role. And I noticed that sometimes many people throw away their visionary capacity. And when I say throw away, I mean they hand that over to the expected trend of their industry, of their company. So they are chasing the next promotion, like promotion to become you were associate before. Now you need to become vice president because that is the trajectory in the do you understand in that company, in that industry. They are not necessarily led by a vision capacity that comes from their own insight of where next to go. So it's more like the industry, the business, sorry, the yeah, has already tell it's already giving you a sense of what is next. Everybody knows that after vice principal, you become principal. But that might not necessarily be what is next for you. It might be something completely outside of that. But if you are not being led by visionary capacity, you won't know. So what do I mean by visionary capacity? I like to give an example. I like to give a quick example of myself of how this has played out for me. It might not exactly be like that for you, but I would like to give that example because it only just quickly comes to my mind. one of the ways that I've learned to let visionary capacity lead me is to ensure that in every place that I enter, I'm asking myself, one of the way I've learned to let visionary capacity lead me is I've learned to ask myself, what what should I be doing next? And when I say the should, I don't mean should in terms of what my company or the industry I am is telling me I'm supposed to be doing next. But in line of whatever picture of what God thinks I'm capable of. Let me give you an example. When I started my PhD, I like to give you an example a lot. I've used the example plenty of times. When I started my PhD in education, it was even going to education was already a visionary capacity thing because where I was coming from and going into PhD education was not the trajectory. In fact, many of my senior colleagues in UI were wondering like, how are you going from biology to education? But there was something I saw that told me, okay, because I can see this, I think that it might be time to switch over to education. But when I got there, there's a trajectory to how a PhD runs. You come in your first year, you start doing courses. Then the big deal is if you are going, that we are start publishing papers, in your field and all of that. But I remember that after my first year, I've learned not to just, you know, build my goal based on what next should I be doing. Like, what does the program I'm in, or the business I'm in, or the career, or the industry says is next after things like this? Yeah, what I'm supposed to be focusing on in my second year is, oh yeah, now that you have done first year work, second year is supposed to be about your courses, and then you start doing your qualifying papers and all of that. I remember I went back during the break and I started asking God, okay, Lord, there was something that brought me here. There was a sense of what I feel like you were saying to me about what you want me to do, the kind of places, the kind of things you want me to feel. Where is the next? Where's my next? In line of how you have spoken to me about, I need to be in education for all of this is where's my next? And one of the things, after some time of prayer and reflection, one of the things that came to my heart was, I need you to start exploring becoming, the way I should say it is that becoming someone like a statesman, a stateswoman, people who are national statesmen, who addresses industry from a national perspective. Do you understand? Do you understand, who addresses issues in the sector, that kind of thing. I feel like that's what God was calling me. That you are a state person in education. So you need to start thinking as someone who is that, you need to first of all think as someone who is trying to create solutions for, thinking about education issues, not just from the perspective of the research that we're doing, but from the perspective of someone who is trying to solve national issues, that kind of thing. And the question was, okay, what does that mean for me right now? Because I knew, yes, my PhD was going on, it's nice and all of that. But I needed to be doing something in line of what was calling me. That's what I'm calling it. That's what was calling me, not just what my PhD affords me. And it was that singular thought of that time that led me to go and pitch myself to the cable. Many people that see me right from the cable today, the cable did not invite me. I went to pitch myself to them. And I didn't just take that kind of step. You don't just wake up and go and take it. You saw something that would pull you in that direction. You understand? I want to put, because the question in my heart was, if I'm going to be someone who is addressing education from a national issue, I need to be addressing it in platforms that are national. And the first thing that came to my mind is, oh, newspaper. And I remember calling, it's more of a friend, a bit of an acquaintance, who was a journalist in the Cape, and calling and say, I would like to start writing for you guys. When I even went, to be honest, I don't know how that was done. I've never done anything like that before. But I just knew. I knew that was my next. That was the idea. I knew it was my next. I knew that, yeah, there was a time I was writing about education issues on LinkedIn and all of that, but this was not about LinkedIn anymore. This was about becoming a national voice. And it sort of gave me do you see what I'm saying? It gives you the action. So the question is, how do I become a national voice? What do national voices do? And my answer was clear because, of course, there were people I could see. So I was like, okay. And I went to pitch myself in it. And I remember that time, I was pitching myself to write just once because I didn't even know what I was going to write when I was having that call that day. It wasn't a daring call. It was in that conversation that he was not saying, do I want to keep writing? That they have people who are like guest contributors who they put on probation. So they put you on probation for 3 months. If you show consistency, then you become part of what they call their viewpoint writer. So you have your own like column and all of that with them, where you are a recognized writer with them and all of that. I was like, okay, let's do it now. I will try 3 months. He was asking me, do you want to do once a month or twice a month? You will not believe me. I told him twice a month, even though I didn't know what I was going to write. And I'll tell you why I did that. I'll tell you. I'll tell you so. Because it's part of the key pillars that I was going to talk about. But do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's sort of you see a next, when you see it, you move towards capturing it. So you don't wait for opportunities to open up for you because you know you have a sense of where next you're going. Your eyes is beginning to look to scan through the world around you for the opportunity that leads you there. So someone who is doing that in a career is not waiting for promotion. They know where they're supposed to be going. So they are actually demanding to be put on project. And when I say demand, I don't mean in a disrespectful way. Do you understand? Like they are putting themselves in places that allow them to be put in project that allow them to explore even bigger part of themselves. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? So mastery is seated on that sense of visionary capacity and conviction of seeing many people are not doing a lot of things well because deep down conviction has not taken over their hearts. That conviction of this is where I'm going next, this is where I'm supposed to be going next, this is where they send him next. That conviction is a crucial part of mastery. Is a crucial part of it. Crucial, extremely crucial part. When you enter a place where you have become like, okay, as I'm entering 2026, and that's why I ask people to do retreats. Yes, you've gotten word, like Lord said, 2026 will be a blessed year. Yeah, get that. But the question is, what does that mean in your career? What that's the question I'm supposed to be asking. This thing I'm saying, I do it as an individual, we do it as a family. In fact, we just did one recently, myself and my husband, like, okay, in this area, where are we going next? What's the next? So it sort of begins to, do you understand? When you have a stronger sense of where you're going, the ability to pull yourself together in that direction, especially when conviction has enraptured your heart, becomes a little bit easier. Does that make sense? Because I'm going to be needing your response in the chat, but I can't wait because I'm also looking at time and I want to cover each of the five. Let me know what has stood out for you when I was talking about visionary capacity. The next one is education and skills. Oh yeah, let me hear. What is standing out for you? What is standing out for you? I need us to do this quickly. Like, I need my answers quickly. What is standing out for you? No one is answering it. I'm still waiting. Ruth says to get to the bigger goal, we need to take the next step. We can't get to the top of the ladder without climbing to the next one. Yes. What I'm really even saying is for you to see and clarify the next step, not just even take it here. I'm saying see, become convinced of having clear, actionable next steps. Guys, please, thank God I asked that question. My goal here is not even step yet. Do you understand? Let me say it again. It's not just about step yet. It's about seeing who you are in the next. I just use that word next in like, you know, the way you say next level. I don't want to use next level because it can mean different things to different people. Like, everybody is seeing you a certain way, but you can see that my next is that I am this kind of voice. I am a voice to this kind of person, to this kind of group of people. Yes, it's a matter of vision more than actions yet. What I'm saying is, first of all, about vision and action. Because that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say the other time. That sometimes the reason why many of us, our actions are wobbly is because vision has not bettered conviction in us. Yes. I used to tell people, don't write on paper goals that have not become convictions in your heart first. And that's why many people, they put themselves in a place where they keep looking as if they are not doing well because they keep writing down goals that are nice, not goals that are that their heart has become convinced that this is where I'm supposed to be going next. That's what I'm saying. Like a sense of, that sense of vision that, okay, I can see that this is my business. Yeah, I've been working with this kind of client. I can see now that I'm going to be it's time to start working with this social kind of client. I know that kind of happened to me with OEC coaching. I think earlier in the year or something like that. I got to the point I realized that, okay, I've gotten to the point where I'm going to start working with corporate clients. It just dawned on my heart that, oh, I've been working with individuals, doing programs, summits, and all of that. I just entered that place in my heart first. That kind of, you're able to see something like, okay, this is the next step. Like, I don't want to use that word step. But it's first of all, not even just the doing, but the feeling and become convinced of it. That's what I'm saying first. Like, I just entered that place. And the thing is that what that does for you is, first of all, is the one that gives you that, that propelling towards movement. Because the goal is not just a nice to have on your paper or in your vision board. It's something that is in your heart. That's first. The second thing that it does for you is that it becomes like a filter. You begin to see opportunities that pull you towards that direction. Remember when we were talking about mindset? That it almost becomes like a filter. That's kind of what I'm talking about here. It becomes like a filter. As soon as I said that, I started remembering some of the people I could talk to. As soon as I told myself it's time to start doing corporate, it's as if over time, started doing on me the kind of things I could do with corporate people. I started remembering the people to talk to. In fact, it still happened recently. I was with a friend. I've not seen him. Last time I saw him was in the US, in Maryland, and he was in Nigeria. I told him I was in Nigeria. So I was like, oh, let's meet up. And we're having a normal conversation. And as soon as he was talking, I saying things, because it preps your mind in a certain direction. So you're able to see opportunities in that direction faster. You see that I was like, oh my God. And I had to I pitched to him right there. I didn't plan to go there to go and pitch. You get. But because there is already a clear sense of next, do you understand? The next for me. When I saw opportunities that were in line with that, I was able to recognize it. But I had this conversation, even though you were not saying this, I just pushed the conversation towards the other direction. And I put myself in, and hopefully I'm going to be having a training with their company by January. And trust me, it's a very big company. Just like that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Let me start moving. The next one is education and skills. And what I like to say here I'm talking about every form of education that you can think about. The formal one, all of your masters and PhDs and BScs. I'm talking about the short ones, the courses and all of that. My point is, these things are layering on each other. The idea is that you see a next, and then you use education to bridge the gap between where you are and where you need to go. Because sometimes that's what it demands first. And that's why I'm saying it's not first of all about action. It's an issue of, you see that, okay, I'm like this right now, but I can be like this next. So where is the gap between that? And is there any part of that gap that education needs to fix? Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Oluwaseun. Thank you. So you begin to use education to discover and develop the skills, the talent, the gifts that fits that thing. Let me give you another quick example. I keep remember examples from the things that have happened to me, because what these things I'm saying to you are not things that I'm just talking about. They are things that I'm doing, that I'm living by. And that's why I know that they are game changers. I remember when it started dawning on me that One Foundation was not just a local non-profit, the way everybody was doing non-profit, that we were a standard one. That kind of non-profit that has proper corporate governance, proper things done properly. Not just, do you understand? When I entered, because of course all of us we started the ruffian way, you don't do projects here, do projects there. But I got to a time, I think that thing happened to me in 2020, when I knew that our next is the type where we can we can we can give any, like, we can show anything from us to anyone in the world, even if they're the president of America. So the question was, what do we need to do? But one of the things that quickly opened up to me was the fact that I thought that I had an understanding that part of the things I needed to do was, have a proper advisory board, you understand, have proper impact reporting and all of those kind of things that we needed to have. But the truth is that I realized that, yeah, I could just do it anyhow and say, oh, we just do nice Canva and yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, no, the goal is to, because our next is to be that kind of place where we can enter anywhere with the things that we are doing and we'll be able to confident to pitch it. So I knew that if I was going to do impact reports, in time past, we used to do impact reports as an image. We just say, oh, we reached 20 people, we did 20 things, we went to 20 programs and all of that. I knew that it had to be more than that. And I dedicated time. I first of all took a course. I read a lot of research from Harvard Business School. I did a lot of things those times. I went to go and download impact reports from the top non-profits in the world. I wasn't even saying Nigeria. I say in the world. I'm talking Acumen, all of those biggest non-profits in West Africa, in the US. I went to all of them, downloaded their things, their impact report, downloaded their impact report, and I was looking for everything. I just looked through everything, like, okay, and that gave me a sense of the way we should report our impact and all that. Like, since that time, that's how we did. But our impact report are 20 something pages, 30 something pages, 40 something. Like, there's nobody that we have shared that thing to that have not taken us seriously. Those are the things that we've pitched, we've sent it, we've had partnerships with US government. When I was doing that thing there, I never knew that partnership with the United States government was ever in our story. But by the time we got there, it was not difficult because we had already built that culture. Do you understand? So that's how education and skills are supposed to be pursued. It's not just for you to wake up one morning and say you want to do a course. No, what gap are you trying to use that to fill? Especially when you have done your BSc. This is about you are moving your career. Before you go and take another course, you go and take a master. The question is, what gap is that filling? What have you seen is your next? Do you understand? That's why you talk about how he's going to do a PhD in a particular field that I don't want to mention. And he knows his reason. His reason is not even about the specific. It's really because he knows he needs to stand in front of certain people who will not take you serious unless you have the PhD. And what he wants to come and tell them, it's not what PhD will tell you. He already knows what he's going to go and tell them. He just needs that PhD as a leverage. That's what next means. Saying next and then use education to bridge the gap. Do you understand? I'm going to be running now. The third one I'm calling exposure and experience. Basically, I really mean three things, and I'm going to say all of them together. One of the things I've noticed, and it's always funny to me, usually, and I see this with the way people pursue education. Many of us, okay, let me use this scripture. You know the way the Bible says knowledge puffs up. There's a scripture that says knowledge puffs up. You know the way you know what it means for something to puff up. Think of you pour omo inside water and you do shake, 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 and then there's bubble. So it looks as if the entire bowl is filled. But it's not. That's how knowledge does to us. And sometimes that's how all of this our education, you did course, give to you. You don't even know what you don't know. You don't know what you know, you don't know what you don't know. And the only thing that will force you to do it is to put yourself in places among people and in situations that forces you to try your hands at the things that you know. It's not until when you try your hands at things that you actually know what you know. Do you understand? It's nice, everything is nice on paper, everything is nice, but you always have to put your hand into things to grow mastery. There's no way that you grow mastery without practice. And I'm saying this way, particularly because you're in a time where you cannot wait for opportunity, for this kind of good opportunity to come and meet you. You have to find them. This is the reason some of you need to do internship. You want to build a non-profit, go and intern with one first. Funny enough, I remember that before I started on, I'd actually worked with a non-profit for some time. And I was just volunteering. To be honest, God saved my heart. When I was doing that, I never thought I was going to have a non-profit one day. It was not in my radar. I just did it because I enjoyed the work and all of that. And funny enough, that time, I was doing that non-profit in education. It was as a teacher, I was teaching with them, but eventually they brought me into their leadership and all of that. It's funny that many of those things have worked out for me because some of the stories from that non-profit and the things I did, it was the thing that gave me experience with secondary school students because it was secondary school I was teaching that time. And some of those things, I still use them in my research today. I still talk about them. In fact, there was a job I did with, there was this work that I did with Yale University sometime. That what I pitched to them in my interview to get employed for that role that I did with them for like 2 months. was the story of the way of some of the things I did when I was in that non-profit. I'm talking 2014. And I was using the case study of one of my students and the way we interacted, what he did for him and what he had become. So you need to put yourself in a places, experiences, exposures that allow you to. What I'm trying to say is that it's not just the things, the knowledge in your head or your thought of what you are capable of that grows your capacity. It's also the things you try your hands at. And sometimes some of you will not need to wait for, if you find structured systems where you can do internship and all that's fine. Or you find a mentor that can put you under their wings, get you to, and usually when people say mentorship, this is always funny to me because people don't realize that the mentorship is not complete if you are not doing something with your mentor. Did you hear me? Like, you see, this one we are doing like this is nice. I tell you, it's a level. But there comes a level where the ways to learn is to get into the field with your mentor and do with them as they are doing. Do you understand me? But this kind of thing, mentors, if you have mentors who are very close and genuine level, maybe they will pull you into. Sometimes you have to be the one to ask. You have to be the one to ask. She say, "Oh, I love the life they are living." Get into the spaces with them, work with them. Ask them, what project are you? What can I do for you? That's how you learn. That's how. There's no other way. And my point is, you don't need to wait for this thing. Some of you might, whatever it is, for some situations in your life, it might not even necessarily be that you work with somebody. Sometimes it will be you that you will go and jama and go and try it yourself. Be the one to start it. I used to tell people that there are some programs that I do. I didn't even know I was going to eventually coach. The program I did in 2020, roadmap, and all of those things that I did those times, that it was not necessarily because I was confident that I was doing them. In fact, the reason I was doing them was to force myself to learn what I know. Like, I didn't come because I felt like I was so confident that I had something that I wanted to come and teach. It was an opportunity to learn what do I actually know that I can teach. Because when you have to teach, you have to really, really ask yourself, what do you know? And not just that, you have to organize it. And that work of organizing itself forces you to encounter questions, encounter things that sort of pull more knowledge out of you. I just hope you're understanding me. I genuinely hope you're understanding me. I genuinely do. Basically, it helps you refine that capacity. Sometimes the next that you have seen, you've seen it, but it wasn't clear. It's in the doing that you are now clear that, oh, it's this way, not that way. Oh, this was what that next really meant. Some of you need to do things to realize that that's not what you're supposed to be doing. I'm serious. Sometimes that's the goal of doing something. You do them to realize that, oh, okay, this is not what I'm supposed to do in my life. And it's not a waste because clarity is not just what to do, it's what not to do too. If all you know is what to do, but you don't know what not to do, you don't have boundaries. Do you understand? It's not clear yet. You don't have boundaries. Clarity means you see it and you see boundaries. Do you understand? The doing can be the realization exactly. Sometimes that's why I don't mind. Throw your hands at things. Be a doer. Yes, fail at it. So, some of it to teach you what not to do. So, do you understand? But just put your hands, try things out. That's what I'm trying to say. Try your hands at things. An idea came to your head. Don't wait. Don't wait for perfect opportunities. And the funny is that the more you do this thing, the better you become at it. I've become, things come into my heart, and in one day, I pull the idea into execution. I'm serious. On my birthday, I released a book. I don't know how many of you know about it. A book I called Echoes. This year's birthday. And that, you know what, that thing is funny? I was heavily pregnant. Heavily pregnant. I gave birth 11 days, no, 10 days after my birthday. So that's what I'm talking about. I was heavily pregnant. 10 days. In fact, my EDD was just supposed to be 2 days away from my birthday. So I had a bit of hormone infection. I remember that night, of the day before my birthday. I was having a conversation with my husband, and it just kept on in my head that God was telling. I just had that thing. I was looking through some of my past posts, and I saw a series of posts that I did about the names of God. It was a poem, it was original to me, and I did like 20 names. And I just wrote it as a poem of what I thought of the name and explore it in my own way. I don't know. Did anybody know about echoes? I can share the link with you guys. Hopefully, it's something I'll be able to remember to share with Kenny. You guys can go look at it. And it dawned on me in that instant, it occurred to me that you can put that thing together and make it into a short ebook, do nice Canva design. I'm like, God, I don't want to do this. This is a lot of work. But the truth is that once you have become an educator, it becomes a part of you. And like I said, initially I was saying to my husband that this is coming to my mind, but I don't think I should do it. But inside that space, as I was thinking, it was on me that no, why not? You can do it. Right there and then. I remember that when I called my assistant, imagine that she had gone to bed. By the time I called her the following morning, I had compiled everything. I had put it on Canva. I had put it in a PDF like document. I had done the cover design. I had done everything. I had put it on a landing page for where people would download it. All I sent to her in the morning was the link. She was just telling me how did you, like, she was completely blown away. Like, wait, what? You did this, all of this overnight? I was like, do you think there was just a place that entered? And I was like, I'm supposed to do this. And right there and then, do you understand? And trust me, it's not because I'm special or anything. It's because over the years, you have learned to do. The more you do, the better you become at doing, and the faster you become. I'm telling you, this thing is true. I feel like it's one of the things that probably maybe stressed my assistant out because she knows I can wake up this morning and an idea came into my heart, and that idea we execute it. And in 2 days, I already have the finished product. That's the kind of person I am. I'm not kidding. And trust me, I do need to be like this. That's my point. That's my real point here. My real point here is in the doing that this became a part of you. You become that masterful person. Do you understand? Put your hand at things. Don't let fear rob you. Try your hand at things. The goal sometimes is failure. I remember there was a time when I realized that the next for us in one foundation is to be able to raise money. I went to go and do a fundraising course there with a non-profit fundraising course. It's one of my friends who was more expertise at it than me. I did a course with that. Paid course. Oh, it was not free. Paid course. And that's another thing. Many people don't like pay. I sometimes just laugh. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's cool that there are people like me. I do this kind of things. Mentorship is free, but don't be someone who the only way that you can get what you need is if it is free. Don't be that cheap about your life. I beg you, name of God. I beg you. I beg you. Be that kind of person where whatever you need, you can go for it, and you can take sometimes the pain. Some of the pain sometimes is financial pain. The first time I paid $2,000, I'm not kidding, $2,000 for a course. I felt like the art wanted to open its mouth and swallow me up. But I knew I must do it. And I did it. It took a lot for me. So that was like putting my savings together. But I knew that I'd enter a place where I needed to break through a ceiling that was already over my head that time and break through into the next level. And I knew that that particular coaching would do it for me. When I was pressing pay, the thing was it was choking my spirit. Maybe people that are close to me who probably see my status no, this was 2023. I went to Seychelles, we did it. That thing, he entered because it wasn't just about the thousand, like it was but I was going to fly there. The amount I would eventually spend on that entire trip was over 4K, $4,000. It wasn't because I had money. It was like put all of my savings together, but I knew I was good. When I was doing that click pay, the thing was choking me inside. But I'm like, no, I will break through this thing. And it's one of the most turn around moment of my life because it broke that ceiling for me. I knew how differently my life became from that situation. It's real. It's part of the reason why I'm here. I'm telling you, it's part of the reason why I'm here. Anyway, that's by the way. But do you get what I'm trying to say? Put yourself in situations that pull these things out of you. Don't just carry potential. Put yourself in things that force you to get some things done. Do you understand? Set yourself up. You're looking for somebody to volunteer to do something difficult in your organization. Raise your hand. You don't know how to do it, but the more you confront difficult challenges, the better you become. I'm not breaking this is true. And you're also buying yourself career capital. Capital is a thing that is true. That people have for you that let them give you leeway. I enjoy it so much with my advisors today. Enjoy it so much. My advisors, they don't breathe down my neck because as far as they are concerned, I'm I'm like their star student because they know me that I get things done. They don't need to follow me. While they are still working on one paper that I've sent, I've already finished the second one. They know. And sometimes my advisor like, the day was different, was like, I need you to come and teach my other students how to write because you are one student that I don't have to stress over. And that's what anytime I ask them for things like, oh, I need to go, they are like, no problem, you go. Because they knew they have to run after me. They know this is real. And to be honest, if you become a master person, it makes your life easy. I'm telling you, it is. It does. It, so there's a time when I just go back to Nigeria and I needed mental breathing room. But I needed to get something done. But you know what? I've done like 50% of the work before I even travel. So when my advisor was still wondering how will you get it done, they didn't have done this. So they were thinking I was still working. But in God of it, what I was supposed to do, I've done it. So I had the time. So even though I took like 2 weeks away, I still met the deadline and passed it. Do you understand? Because motivation, do you understand? I'm telling you, this thing, it makes your life easier. You're in career, people know that you are someone who get things done. It makes your life easier. Why you think some people always get the opportunities? It's because they show up. They get and when I say show up, I don't mean they're writing on LinkedIn. I mean they get things done. Because sometimes when you say show up, now people are talking, oh, this oh, they get things done. Anyway, let me start shouting. Last, second to the last, education and productivity. Yes, about this one is the one that I it I saw it so much among so many people that it bothered me enough that led me to start OAC coaching because I realized that many people have these wonderful dreams. They've seen the next, they have the education, they are trying the answer thing. But the real problem is that they don't know how to manage themselves to bring out the best out of themselves. You yourself, you're your own asset. Your time, your energy, your attention, you're an asset. But you don't know how to manage it. You'll not be able to bring the best out of it. And favor, the question you were asking that time, you see that thing about saying that people who are busier, they even have less overwhelm. This is where the secret is. It's understanding productivity system. I've been shouting this for more than 2 years now. This old idea of productivity that there's a way to do. And the way I see it is that there's a way to do that keeps you doing more without sacrificing your well-being. This thing is real. It's true. But there's a way, and sometimes you have to learn it. It's real. And anybody can learn it because I'm an example. I know where I was in 2019. I know where I am now. It's not the same. My life is busier now, but I feel more flex. I feel like I'm flexing more now than before. There's a way. I'm telling you, there's a way to manage yourself. TES means time, energy, and but it's even deeper than this. This was I've made this slide since, so I didn't even put it. It was the simplest way I could put it. But what I'm saying is, there's a way to do. In fact, that's the reason why I did productive summit at the beginning of the year. Really, I did it last year. I did this year. I did last year. I'm going to do it again this year. In fact, you guys are going to be the first person I'm going to be telling because we're already working on it and all of that. So we're going to start doing publicity about it very soon. I'm going to throw it out here first. Like you guys are, because you people are my people. I'm saying it here first. Other people are not getting to know about it until next week Monday. Like there is a way. I'm telling you, there is a way to execution productivity. I say I can don't let me say I can die on this hill because I'm not dying. I can live on this hill. It's real. This thing is real. I'm telling you, this thing is real. And it's not something that I'm saying is real because I've experienced it. That it's real because I have coached people and they have experienced it too, again and again and again. I'm not kidding. Again and again. I remember one of my clients came. He came in October and not this October. She came in October and she was talking about how she's overwhelmed. She wants to leave everything. Yeah, 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 right. By January, after we have, and she didn't even do a lot of coaching. I think we just had one on one, maybe one or two one-on-one. By January, she was some of my clients are still telling me thank you 1 year later. 1 year later, I'm not kidding. This thing, I'm not even, it's not as if I'm trying to tout my own. My point, my real point is that it's learnable. Do you understand? There's a way that, ah, that's my point. There's a way to build systems around your productivity that gets you doing, and your when your productivity is not moving with weather. You understand? It's not moving with your feelings. It's not that you are here today, down tomorrow. No. And don't get me wrong, of course, our life is always in cycles. I get that. But even that cycle becomes intentionally designed. You have I'm telling you, this thing is real. That's my point. It's real and it's true and it works. I remember in some of the conversation was coming, I was having with DDK one time that she eventually invited me to come and teach productivity at the mess. I was so surprised when she invited me. And even that teaching, people were reaching out to me on LinkedIn, like, I had never seen this way before. And all of that. I'm like, this is real. It's true. It's real. Anyway, let me move. And the last one that I like to talk about is self-governance. And here I'm talking about emotional mastery and character development. And the reason I always like to talk about this is because many people think that mastery, and yes, there's competence. I'm talking about competency, but there will come a time, especially as you grow in your career, your business, when you are growing as a leader, that your character begins to matter more than your competence. Don't let me say more, but at least just as much as your competence. Where there are businesses that have died today, not because they didn't have good product, but because the boss was a horrible boss. They didn't know how to talk to people, run rate was high, people come and go. Do you understand? There comes a time where your emotional, being just a person who is able to regulate themselves, mastery, character development becomes a major part of your mastery. If you have entered leadership, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not, trust me, just believe me. There comes a time where half of your work, even 70% of your work, is people relationship, is knowing how to talk to people, keep them motivated, keep them interested, knowing how to be there for people. I'm telling you, that's why I know that because my work now in one foundation. My work is not implementation. My work now is people management, it's people relationships. It's knowing how to talk to people even when they're tired. And do you understand? Getting them back on track, helping them. Do you understand? Character development, kindness, all those kind of things. There come a time where they begin to matter more. And I don't even need to talk too much. I can give you two examples that quickly says that. Extra Olubi of Paystack. What led him out of Paystack recently? He wasn't competent. How many people know the story? You will know the story. The Ezra story. He broke recently. What pushed him out of Paystack? Anybody knows what I'm talking about? He has been sacked out of Paystack, even though he created the business. What led him out was not competence. It wasn't competence. It was not. It was character flaws of a long time ago that eventually caught up with him. I don't even remember one story of one fitness. I don't know which fitness it was. But I know it was not a fitness. One fitness place in Lagos. One guy that was saying, put it where you put it. Okubanjo, that got, he also, the board members had to vote him out of the business and all of that. It wasn't competence, not competence, character. There comes a time as you grow that your character is just as much currency as your competence. So that's why I personally always put this as part of mastery. And that's why honestly, part of the reason why I used to also teach, this also sort of make productivity important. Because one of the things I teach about productivity is that you have to be making professional progress in ways that does not impact upon your person. Because yeah, people can get things done, but the question is, who are you becoming as you are getting things done? Are you becoming someone who just uses people? You don't care how they get things done. You don't care if they die. They must just get things done. Because people can get things done. But sometimes the how matters. Not sometimes, all the time it matters. Who are you becoming? Are you becoming an impatient, unrestrained person who get things done at whatever cost to any person? Don't marry. You might still be getting things done, but there will come a time where that thing will catch up with you and it will become a cap. It will become a cap. It's true. I've said a lot. I'm going to give you an opportunity. I want you to rank. I want you to do something for me so that I'm going to send a link to the chat. I've put the five, I've just put that link in the chat. I've put the five pillars. Let me come back to it. I put the five pillars here. Could you rank it for yourself where you are? And that's where we're going to end. I know I'm already like 10 minutes out, but that's also because we have a lot of issues starting out. I want you to rank yourself. Could you go to that link? And what I mean by rank yourself is put it from top to the bottom. Whichever one you think that you are the best at, put it first. Then the next one next. So the one that will be at the bottom will be the one that you think that, okay, this is the one that compared to the others, I'm probably weakest at. I want you to rank yourself so that at least you can live here with a sense of action. Does that make sense? Can we do that? Oh, we're already doing that. You guys are very cool people. Are we already doing that, please? I need answers though. I can't see anyone doing this yet because I'm going to be seeing the result on my end. Is the link working? It's not opening. Really? That's weird. I'm copying it again and resending it. Any other person that having issues, please let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know if I do this another way. Okay, worked. Yeah, I'm already seeing people ranking. No, the one that you are most skilled is at the top. So it's basically about carrying. So you pull the one that you think you are better at to the top, and then you rank it that way. So the one that is top is the one that you are best at. The one that you down is the one that compared to the others you are probably least at. That's what I wanted to do. I've seen somebody have already done theirs. I've seen one vote. I'm going to give us like 3 minutes. No, 3 minutes is not a lot. As I'm talking, you already started ranking yourself and know the one that is yours and the one that is not. Okay, I'm saying to thank you for sending the link again, favor. Okay, saying more. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Yeah. So it is, you can, how do I explain this to you? Drag. Did you see that instruction? You can long press and drag exactly. So you can rearrange it. Yes, exactly. So you just drag, you press it and you drag it wherever you need it to go. Thank you for explaining it. Thank you so much, Favor. I'm already seeing an interesting trend that is not surprising because funny enough, I've done this thing a number of times. No, at least twice in this place. And it's the same trend that I saw that I'm seeing again. And I'm not surprised because I see this trend all the time. It's not surprising at all. You guys, I only have 5 people who have filled this. Can we be faster with this, please? need to give 1 more minute. It's still not open on your end. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You can rank your own, Maybe you want to write it out. So write the one. You can write that in the chat if that works for you. I'm just going to give 1 more minute, and I'm going to. I need more results, guys. Let's do this. Let's do this quickly. Okay, I see one more result coming. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see, what I'm seeing on my end. Okay, you guys, so that I don't keep everyone waiting. I'm just going to share my results so I can see. Here, let me share my screen. What I really want to show you was a trend. And this thing happens all the time. I'm not surprised that education and productivity is the last, is what most people rank last, because you see it. Most people rank, if it's 25 points, so most people rank visionary capacity more. Then education and skills for exposure, self-governance. Education and productivity, I'm not surprised because over the years, I've found out that that is usually the missing link. The ability to put your, yeah, I say put yourself together, but that's the way to say it anyway. I'm not surprised that that's what I'm saying because that's what I usually see. Last year was like this too, and more people I've spoken to, I've always seen that. Anyway, let me just share my screen and then wrap up my thoughts. Oh, the out of here. Uh-uh. Slide show current side. Yeah. So basically, I don't think we have a lot of time for questions, but yeah, if there's a question, you can drop it in the chat. If I'm able to take it, fine. So yeah, while I think the announcement again is about the project. Um, please remember all of the things I've said about the project. More information will also be dropped on the group page, and then the link to where you're supposed to tell us what you're supposed to do will be dropped there too. So please look into the group chat. Yeah. Or please share with me what is standing out to you the most from this session as we wrap up the group. What are you living with? What are you living with? What are you living with? Please share with me what you're living with. And while I'm waiting for that, I already mentioned that the Early Productive Summit, we already are gonna we've opened it. We opened it for you first, actually. My goal was to get it done over the weekend for Monday. But because I was meeting with you guys today, you were literally the reason why we got it done and finished for today so that it can be open already for you. I think Kendi is already on this call, right? Kendi, please, can you drop the link? Can you drop the link to HPS in the chat, please? Um, the like I said, it's only a paid for me. Um, I'm offering a 25% normally to people who are early birds, who do early, early registration, and that's registration before 19th of January. But for emerging women, I'm raising that discount to 30, just for emerging women. Just for people in emerging women. This is not for any other person, but just for people. I always like to know, I think of like my people are my personal people. So yeah, I'm raising that to a 30% discount for you guys. But that deadline will be 30th, so we are able to know how many people are going to come in by then. So your 30th percent discount is valid to 30th of December. Want to send reminders on the group, um, at least in the next couple of days to remind you. The link is there. If you have any question, you can please ask Andy or just drop it on the group. Somebody will answer you. But yeah, that's the link. And it's a link that you can know of, and it's just bit.ly/HPS 2026. HPS in capital letters in 2026. Basically, what we usually do in HPS is basically it's a matter of productivity. What we do there is productivity. Is Yeah, basically we are talking about productivity and how to get things done. So yeah, that's that. I'm still waiting for the things that stood out for you in this session. Though. That's why I'm still talking. Which says this session reminded me of how important it is to be someone who gets his done. Not supposed to be a lifestyle. They can say I'm living being challenged. But I live intentionally. I put a system of success, not just a eat and run. I definitely did retreat. Yeah. So I wanted you to be done with this session for you to now decide your project because some of you, the project you were thinking before might change based on some of the things we've spoken about here. So yeah, absolutely. Can I hear from one or two more persons before I go? What stood out for you in this session? It has been a wonderful time with you guys. Hmm. Can you please let me know what stood out for you from this session before I do on my way? Oluwaseun said, my biggest takeaway is about being a masterful person. Looking forward to sitting with the pillars. Yes, please listen to this thing again and again, again and again, again and again. They're going to be useful for you. But like I said, some of these kind of things, I teach some of these things a lot more deeper in early production because that one we act like we're able to make it more strategic, more personalized, and like yeah, more personalized, like more realistic for wherever you are or wherever you're supposed to be. Immaculata say you just support me that I can be a masterful person. Absolutely. I love that. Sometimes that's the first level of that conviction. That conviction of knowing that this thing is not it's me, I'm not talking about somebody else. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I'm using this title to wait for anyone that's prepared. Thank you so much, guys. This has been such a wonderful time. And yes, I think we're not going to see again until physically again until next year. Trust me, I'm going to actually miss doing this and having all of this wonderful conversation with you guys. But because I'm going to see you next year, I should probably be wishing you a Merry Christmas. Yes. Can you still hear me? And I just went off and I need to be sure. Thank you so much, guys. This was such an amazing session. And I hope you're able to catch up with the replay. I think this something that's this is a replay that you should look over. In case you want to just it's going to be a replay, this can be a replay to go over and make actual decisions. My favorite thing, mastery Christmas. Nice one. That should be our coded language. I wish you a mastery Christmas. Love it. We would just say it with, CC inside language. I wish all of you a very mastery Christmas and a wonderful new year in advance. I'll see you next year and you get all of the information that you need. So you get the link to tell us what projects you're doing, and also the link for HPS so that you can register and join us at the session in January. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye.